All right, so we're finally doing another one of these dual vocal coach podcast style reactions. Been since July. I'm excited to do it, and you've got something funky for my death metal ears, right?
Yeah, and I can't believe you haven't heard that yet. Like, you didn't hear that yet. It was viral all summer long. I got obsessed with the song. My students got obsessed, and it's some K-pop. Woo.
Yeah, which I have heard. So I don't have, this is a good spot because this is legitimately going to be a very first time reaction for me, because I have no like hesitation about K-pop. It's just my entire job, and almost everything I do involves death metal, deathcore, black metal. And so there's no time. I mean, I saw the memes. I saw some hilarious memes on TikTok. Like there's this one where like it's footage of this car like going off the road, and then it cuts to this girl and she's like listening to it in her car and like dancing. It's very funny. So yeah, I don't even really know what KPop Demon Hunters is. And I'm kind of, because my understanding is this has been out for a while, right?
I think so, since June. I think I watched the movie when I was on vacation in August. And because I was hearing the song everywhere, of course, and you want to know what's happening. And but yeah, it's a kids movie. But the songs are really good, and the singing is pretty impressive. As like, I've been practicing Golden all summer long, and I actually made discoveries about vocal technique to attempting that song.
Well, I mean, we're gonna get into it, but some of the stuff is that you hear in the chorus is absolutely wild. So I'm kind of excited to talk about it. And, you know, even though I'm not really sure what to expect, I'm excited to see if I can draw any parallels between what they're doing and death metal or deathcore technique, because after all, it's the same instrument, just used in different ways.
Yeah, exactly. And fun thing, like there's one of our shared student at Cardivox that is doing harsh vocals with you and clean singing with me. He actually brought a song from KPop Hunter, not that one, but one of the guys, because there's also a guy K-pop band in the movie. There's a female one and a boys band in the movie. Really? So you have songs like male songs, and we're working that, and like it's a challenge. Like, what I love about K-pop is that the melodies move a lot, and you really use your whole register in a song usually. Yeah, that's what's really different. Like, what's really different with like regular American pop, I would say, like Occidental pop, maybe. Like they really use their instrument. Like, yeah. And
that's, since having you know, because for anybody who's not aware, Veronna here and I, we're both vocal coaches. She handles all the clean singing and like the rock singing, everything from rock, pop, any type of clean singing or like powerful true chord singing. That's your territory. For me, I handle all the harsh singing. And one thing that I've learned from having you on board is that there's a lot of variation within pop that a lot of people maybe aren't aware of. So I'm excited to hear about that. And that's all I have. I mean, if you're ready to jump into it, I'm ready to jump into it.
Yeah, let's just jump in. So it's a live performance that got out. So we're filming on October 14th. So it got out on October 8th. So
we're not reacting. We're not. Okay, so this isn't the original that came out in June. This is more recent then.
Yeah, it's a recent live performance at the Tonight Show. Yeah.
That's nuts, because the chorus that I heard, again, just in the memes, does not sound to my naive ears easy. So I'm okay. Let's see it. Let's see it. I believe in them. I do.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to watch it. I haven't watched the live performance. I've listened to the studio version tons of times. But yeah, the big thing is that it actually goes pretty low in one of the verse, you'll see. But the chorus goes up to a belt on a A5.
Okay. All right.
So that's the thing. That's like the challenge. So yeah, let's just get started.
Let's do it.
Performing their #1 hit song, Golden. Once again, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami from KPop Demon Hunters.
was a ghost, I was alone. To watch it, it's so big. Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I meant to be.
Live two lives, try to play both sides, but I couldn't find my own place.
Got a problem, child, 'cause I got too wild. But now that's how I'm getting paid. Get the town state.
I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm gonna be. We dreaming hard, we came so far, now I believe we're going up, it's how I know it. You together we're glowing, gonna be going. And our voices, you wanna get just so on it, gonna be golden. I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm gonna be. Oh, my words I know feel so nice, it's who we're gonna be.
Ah.
We're already halfway, but I couldn't stop before, but we could rewind.
Well, I think that's good though, because we got to hear a lot. So this is your, here, let me make you, I made the video, the visual thing. Now let me bring it back to you. So this is your arena, and I definitely have a lot of thoughts, a lot of things I've noticed, but since this is your expertise and certainly not mine, talk to me about it. Talk to me about, like, as a death metal person, what do you want me to be getting from this? What do you want me to be, like, noticing that I might not notice? Because you know me, I'm always over here just like just doing that stuff. You know?
Yeah. Did you notice? I mean, the first thing I would say is, like, did you know the lead singer, the one in the middle? I don't know. I think it's EJ. I'm not sure. Did you notice how solid she was? It was like she's a tree. She's not dancing. But K-pop, we're used to seeing them like little choreographies and there's a lot of lip sync. Fortunately, I have to say, there's a lot of lip sync in these bands because they want them to dance all over the place. But this, they're really singing. It's like true vocals. Like you can feel that it's real. You know, you hear where they breathe. You hear where like all the different. And I love to see the live performances like that. And I'm happy that they're actually not dancing. Because that's how you sing a song of that level.
Interesting. See, that's something right there. Like before we started rolling, I told you, I was like, listen, I don't know like anything about K-pop. Like so like I did not notice that because I don't think I've ever seen any K-pop performances, but
it's girls bands on like steroids. It's like basically that's how I would describe them. It's really impressive, and usually they can sing and dance, but that song is like on another level of like all the airflows she needed to switch gear all the time. The head voice, the low chest. She started super low with a low larynx, and then you have to bring it high with it's like all the air pressures are different. She cannot dance, and I'm happy she's not dancing and she focuses on her vocals. And I'm also happy she brought the song 2 half steps down.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, I you know, of course that's the sort of thing that's going to be a little bit controversial, but there are 2 main things I noticed, although that's very interesting insight about not dancing and being more I guess sturdy, like rooted in their stances. But there are 2 things that I noticed, and you know, this isn't just a metal thing, this is a vocal thing, right? Because like we've talked about before, the exact same instrument, just used in different ways. 2 things that I'm always listening to are timbre, right? So darkness and brightness and weight of voice, because that's so important, and airflows. And that's one thing that I think that's one of the main things I was thinking about, because a lot of times, you know, we'll be sharing a student, and you know, I'll always ask, I'll be like, how are the lessons with Veronna going? And one thing I hear a lot is like, they're like, man, pitch is a lot more complicated than I thought. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, and of course I know this, but I want to hear from them. And they're like, there's so much more about airflow and pressure and movement that I just thought hit the note on the keyboard and try to sing it. And they're like, and it's something that actually supplements our students pretty well, because when they're doing like all these crazy harsh vocals, there's a lot about airflow and pressure and moving. And so when I was listening to that, even though I can't sing like that, I was thinking, dang, that's got to be pretty tough, because even though I'm making different sounds, right? I was hearing all these different levels of airflow management, right? Some voices were light and airy, some voices were more connected, and their voices are really complementary at this point too. That's like, talk to me about like how the voices are pairing, because for me, I hear it and I'm just like, cool. They sound good when they sing at the same time. But
they really blend in the harmonies, you mean?
Yeah. When they're all singing at the same time, really kind of a rich landscape created by their voices, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, these girls have been trained since they're kids, okay? You have to keep that in mind also. Like, it's crazy. In Korea, it's like, they're born and they train. It's like, I don't know if I'm exaggerating that much, but and then when you're in a band and you do harmonies, the first thing you need to check is, of course, you need to know your line, you need to know your note, okay, and be freaking on pitch. So, okay, pitch is yes, the first thing, but also where you breathe. They need to breathe exactly at the same time, and they need to pronounce exactly at the same time, and they need to also like start the words at the same time, but also finish the words at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, and they're so tight that it's almost like it sounds like a vocoder. You know, like you sing and you play a chord on a keys, and it just like makes your voice like with different pitches, and it's super tight because it's just you. They almost sound like that. It's so. Let's hear it again, because they're so tight. Of course, I think they have back vocals like recorded in the background and they sing over them, but that's okay, because on a studio version, you wouldn't have only 3 tracks, right?
Right. No, you wouldn't.
You would have like first harmony 4 times, second harmony 4 times, lead at least 2 other times as overdubs. So it's like I think that's the only thing they also have in the background. But that's what I would say. Like they really like, they're really tight and they blend. I remember when I was doing I had a class in college. It was a choir, not a choir, but like petit ensemble. So it was just like we were 8 singers and we were doing back vocals for like, one would sing the lead, we would do the back vocals, another one would sing the lead, we would do the back vocals. And the teacher was telling us, imagine like we're in a circle all singing. Imagine the sound is in the middle. You're not like, and we're just participating at doing something all together. It's really fun. I would encourage everybody to take some choir lessons also. It's very, very fun.
You do have to, I mean, my experience with choir is like high school, so it was not like super serious, but you do have to very much think about the people around you, because like, you know, I remember one thing our choir was just the worst at, because again, most of the people who were there because they had to pick choir or band, and they were like, I don't know, choir, I guess. Like nobody was there because they had a love of the craft. But I remember our choir director, he would get so mad because if we like ended on the word night, it was like night.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You have to time it. On which time is it? On the first beat, the half of the second beat, like yeah. So that's very important. And sometimes you actually have to remove your pronunciations at the end. Like the lead would say night, but all the others would say nah.
Yeah, you know,
we have enough of one T.
That's absolutely, so that's something that's super common in harsh vocalization. Super common when like tracking layers. And a lot of because, you know, a lot of times with my students, we're not just working on tone, we might be working on songwriting or you know, understanding a dot. And because harsh vocals, depending on the style, depending on what you're doing, but because harsh vocals are, especially majority of what I teach, very sludgy, like I will straight up, and you can do this. There's so much freedom in harsh vocalization. I'll tell it, like, let's say a student is saying like, I don't know, a word like in the night, and it's doing like, you know, very in the night, right? In the night. Underneath that, I'll be like, just say just don't even put it in there. Who cares?
Yeah.
So I think that's another area where when I hear this stuff, even though I'm not very like in the pop world, I admire the skill and technique, because they can't really get away with that as much. Just be sludgy underneath. Who cares? You know what I mean? But yeah, those are the majority of my insights right now. I do have another question I want to ask you, but I want to listen a little bit more to see if I can pick out who's doing what. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
I mean, the lead, she's doing the high notes and like the belt. I don't know who's doing the lower harmony. Is there a higher harmony than that? I'm not sure. No, all the harmonies are below the lead, I think.
Are they saying I'm shining like a Bartleby?
No.
No. I'm like, who's Bartleby?
I mean, they do say one sentence in Korean and then I'm done hiding. Now I'm shining. Like I'm born to be.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense than Bartleby. I'm an idiot. Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, so just for people who attend that alone at the beginning, they are 3, and that really helps her to do the chorus. She has like a break before doing the chorus. I've been attempting to do the song, the whole thing. It's very hard, but when I do just the chorus, it's fine. It's like, because it's another placement. Like, listen to her voice just at the beginning.
Sure.
It's okay. Given the throne, I didn't know how to believe I was the queen that I'm meant to be.
She could never use that belt. Like the last sentence,
I was the queen that I'm meant to be.
She could not have like that dark chest voice and bring that up for the chorus. It's impossible. We don't even recognize her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, it's another technique. It's like
you would have to do a lot of shifting, I would imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay here and it would get all, so you'd have to do some sort of shifting. You'd have to do some sort of placement movement or things like that for sure. It's crazy that she can do both. I love, honestly, like I feel like, obviously like her high belting voice is really impressive and quite beautiful, but I feel like we don't hear, and I could be out of touch, tell me if I'm a totally idiot, but I feel like we don't hear a lot of like women singing in those like lower, richer tones in pop as much. Maybe you do, and I just don't listen to a lot of pop, but I'm almost like enjoying listening to that part.
Yeah.
And seems like a little fresh and new to me. You know what I mean?
That's true. And it's actually really beautiful, and we should do that more. But the thing is, it's not every female who can do that. Sopranos don't have lows like that. So she's not a soprano.
But she's still hitting those high notes.
Exactly. And that's a thing. I know I had like people arguing with me in a Nightwish video. But basically in contemporary singing, okay, it's different in classical, because in classical singing, it's not just like how high you can go, it's how like powerful and where your voice is actually shining that really gives your register. But in contemporary, I would call it like that, or pop, it's depending on how low your chest voice can go. Like a real soprano, she stops at like an A3. It's like, it's weak and it cannot go lower. A mezzo could go up to then a F, let's say, and an alto could go to a C or maybe a C sharp. Like, what's the lowest she goes?
It's okay.
It's a D. So she's maybe a low mezzo or almost an alto. Okay, but with the good technique, because it's not chest voice up there, it's mixed voice. But we'll see after. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So anybody could go high. Even you. That's what I teach to your boys, basically, in Cardivox. I teach them to go as high as that, and they're freaking bass or baritones.
Well, and even though it's different, it does make high screams a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's what they've told me.
Granted, we're doing if you do a high scream, and then you use your clean voice through it, it's a very different vocal tract shape. Like, so you wouldn't sing like that, but still being able to do like mixed voice stuff without tension will let you be better at doing high voice stuff without tension.
Yeah,
So
all of our
a lot of
common
the time-
students, that's what they told me, that like we've been practicing mixed voice so much and like belting and all those techniques like on rock or pop songs, whatever. And they've been telling me that all their high screams are really easier now. So that's nice.
Yeah, you know, I will say it. You know, obviously I don't sing it like this at all, but in Kardashev I do a lot of clean singing, and my screaming did get better when I started taking my singing more seriously. That is 100% a fact. 100% a fact for sure. Like,
okay, let's finish the song. It's a short one. Sorry, I've been talking too much. Okay, so first chorus.
Break these walls down to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now and finally live like the girl they all see. No more hiding, I'll be shining like I'm born to be. 'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going up, up, up. It's all about me. You know you gotta be blowing, gonna be going up, 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 up. We are our voices. You wanna get this woman, gonna be going.
Okay, so what she just did was actually the hardest thing ever.
no, of course, that's crazy. That part was nuts.
Because she went to her lowest and up to her highest
Yeah.
gradually. So she's shifting gear, like adapting her airflow, adapting her resonance. Like she knows exactly where to put it. It's not luck, okay? It's like, that was...
It's crazy listening to it's hard to explain it, because most of the time when we explain it, we're teaching it to people who don't understand it, but it's hard to explain like how much those movements are not just like singing the right, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like if you had an instrument, right? And you had like a big like stand-up bass, and then you could use mental power to turn that into an acoustic guitar, and then you could turn it into a fiddle, and then you turn it into like a ukulele, right? We're doing
That's
all
a
of
good
those
image.
because we're changing the shape of the instrument. We're doing like, you know, a stand-up bass, and then we're doing more of a guitar, and then we're doing more of a violin or something. Right. And that's where I'm going to cut myself off.
But that's a good explanation. And that's pretty much like, we hear it in her, like, I was almost stressed for her. I thought it was the other girls singing that part. No, for real. I thought they were like helping her, but they're not.
It's crazy. Like those shifts are wild. And you know, I would be interested to know how long that they did train, because like it is true. Some people, if you disagree with me in the comments, please let me know. But some people are born and they're just really naturally good at singing. Like that is a thing. That is 100% a thing. But I don't think anybody can just like do that messing around on their own in a short period of time. Maybe messing around on their own, practicing a lot, and that's their main hobby, and they don't do anything else, and they're also just kind of good at it. You know what I mean? I think anybody can learn to do that, but I think it takes a lot of work. Like it takes a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's also why like it was a trend on TikTok, like professional singers attempting to do that crazy high chorus. However, I haven't seen trends of people doing the bridge leading to the high chorus, because that's the part I've been practicing and I have a hard time. And I know I have a tendency, and we all have our tendencies. Even if I was born, I was good when I was a kid, sure. Yeah, right. But I was not a good belter, let's say. That's why I can teach it, because I learned it. You know, like natural belters, they're bad teachers because they have no idea. That's true.
You know, yeah. I would agree with that.
My friends that are the best belters. Sorry, I have like a disco ball in my studio, and it's just doing like little crazy
I know it
thing
looks
in my
kind of
face.
cool. I was noticing it on your back wall. I was like, it matches the song, right?
And it
anyways.
actually could. Let's make it move. Can we? Okay. Oh, it's not plugged in. It's a diffuser. How do you call that? I put like essential oils. Diffuser, yeah, but it's a disco ball.
Oh, that's cool. That's a very like Verona item, like a diffuser disco ball. Like that is very much you. You know what I mean?
Very much on brand, right?
Very much. But yeah, I have a question for you. When you have a student, right, and let's say they're pretty good in their chest voice, okay, maybe they're what I call karaoke good, right, which means they can go to a karaoke and they can sing well and people will clap and people won't be like, ugh, right, but there's still a lot of work to do on their voice. Not to say that there aren't some amazing singers at karaoke, but you know what I mean. What are some of your like surefire ways to at least help point them in the right direction of mixed voice? Because the reason I'm asking is I'm curious if it's similar in some of my surefire ways to help people access, I hesitate to call it their mix, but like a similar space for higher screams. I'm curious if there's some crossover.
So first part of my answer would be, usually when I have a new student and I'm like, wow, he's actually good, like a little bit of practice and he could actually be professional. Sometimes it happens. Or at least the first problem, why do they take singing lessons? It's usually because they're not comfortable doing it. So it sounds great, but it's not comfortable. Like after 30 minutes, it's like, ugh. So like, how can you have a 2-hour gig, 6 nights a week, if after 30 minutes you're tired? That's how you are professional. Like, can you sing 2-3 hours every day and be okay with that and be healthy? So for these students, it's going to be a lot of vocal health exercises. And usually it's they push too much air. Because I saw a guy, it's an opera guy, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. I want to do that trend too. He's holding a candle really close to his face. And he's singing like a crazy opera belt, like in chest voice, super high. The candle, the fire, the flame is not moving at all. There's no air coming out. And then he just does a really gentle, and the candle is like, he blew the candle, So that's just to say that what I teach is how to do a lot with almost nothing coming out.
I find a lot of times, because it's obviously very different, but it's oftentimes when it's less air, right? Especially with clean voices, what people will think of is there'll be, okay, less air coming out of my mouth. And what they'll pair that with is tension and push. Because if you close off, there's going to be a lot less air. And that's something you run into in the harsh vocal world a lot, because we do have strategic closures. And I'm like, I'll hear sometimes, I have students who sing and I'll be like, yeah, just sing something for me so I can get an idea of the relationship you have with your voice. And like, they're also probably not making that candle waver, but their voice also sounds like, you know what I mean? So that like how, like with a clean singing student, like what are some things that you do to say like, okay, here's how you can balance that airflow, and it like just like a quick little thing.
So I mean,
again,
the 2 points I'm looking in the sound, so we're gonna make like weird exercises to kind of exaggerate what I'm looking for technically. So basically it's no breathiness. That's what I'm looking first. But the second thing, I mean, both at the same time. Okay, my 2 indicators, breathiness and raspiness. I don't want no raspiness. I want, if the person wants to do a note with some raspiness, I want the person to be able to do the note super clean. And then with your type of techniques, we're going to add some raspiness over it. But not that you're making the note and it's raspy, because that's the only way you can make it. Nah.
Right.
Same thing for the breathiness. Breathiness is really, I sing breathy sometimes, but it's an aesthetic choice. I'm never going to warm up breathy. I'm never going to warm up raspy. I add them after for like artistic goals. So like my a first exercise, if you want like a little free tip, would be, and I just before our podcast, I had a new Cardivox student. It was his first class. He's karaoke good. It's exactly what you say. Like he sings well. Like he's on pitch, good timing, But he was too breathy and a little bit, especially the higher he went in his chest voice. Like I call it the belting zone. Okay, when you're approaching your belt. Yeah, your higher note in chest voice that are gonna be more powerful most of the time if you don't mix. He was getting tight and raspy, right? So, so the first thing I did a reel. We shared it on our channels. It's you inhale with you're blocking your ears. You inhale by the mouth and you try not to hear yourself inhaling.
Oh, I remember that reel. Yeah. Because that basically helps things retract, relax.
It retracts your false vocal cords.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I know in harsh vocals you actually contract them, I think.
Much of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to have to become a master of the full control, you know? So for a clean, you need to retract them so far from each other that there's no more raspiness, and it's in classical training, they also call it open throat. But it's basically a lower larynx a little bit and a lot of retraction of the false vocal cords on the side. So when you block your ears, if you hear yourself, I'm going to go closer. So if you hear like, and even on your exhale, that means, it doesn't mean you're contracted. It actually means you're centered. And when I'm talking right now, I should be retracted, but I don't talk like that. I should.
I probably don't either.
My speech therapist told me I should talk like that, but I feel so fake.
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, so most of people, they talk centered. So that when you block your ears, that's just your regular like placement. And when you sing, that's not enough. You're gonna because it's easier for your false vocal cords to just contract. They have there's a muscle I learned in STL voice training. That's what I learned. Like there's a muscle in the false vocal cords, and the only movement it's able to do is from inside, the inside movement of the fibers.
You've got in that space, you've got the area epiglottic sphincter that can cause some constriction. They probably used a French term for it.
But that's elsewhere. That's not the same part.
It's not the same part. It's kind of like around it. I don't think that's what you're talking about. I'm just
no. I'm just talking really the false vocal cords themselves, like just themselves alone, are only able to go inside or be centered. Yeah. So if you want to retract them, you're gonna have to use muscles around to pull them far from each other. So,
I'm getting distracted. This is not the time to look up anatomy terms.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just that basically everybody's centered. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost no one is naturally retracted because that's not what they do, the false vocal cords. So then the exercise of blocking your ears, if I go back to it, you have to inhale silently. And exhale silently. Want to try it? Blocking your ears?
Nailed it.
And then you go from the noisy one, the loud one to the silent one, and you go from there to there, and you actually feel the retraction, and then
feel that. Open
yeah. So you do like and then you're like, okay, it opened like that, and then you go back. Back and forth. Yeah. So that would be the first thing to fix in someone, and it's going to remove a lot of tension. Because you inhale like that, and then you have to stay like that when you sing. So each inhale is like a reset.
Sure.
Each sentence, you take your time.
And it probably helps build that coordination as well. Build that coordination to do it intentionally. Well, that's interesting. Hell yeah, now we know. Well, I know you've got a student in a little bit, and I've got a student in a little bit too. So what do you say we finish out this song and see? I'm interested to see what they're going to do.
Oh, it's okay. I still have an hour. We won't do an hour, but...
Well, yeah, we won't do an hour. We won't do an hour, no.
Okay, let's finish the song.
I'm interested to hear because it's everything. This song has a lot of like building up into chorus moments. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get like this big, awesome.
Yeah. Let's listen to the dark.
We'll find out.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the part. I'm just like,
please.
oh my god, how
Please.
does she do? And then I'll go until the end. Okay.
Sure.
Waited so long to break these walls down, to wake up and feel like me. Put these patterns all in the past now, and finally live like the girl they all see. No more hiding, I'll be shining like I'm born to be. 'Cause we are hunters, voices strong, and I know I believe we're going up, up, up. It's how I'm going. You know you gotta know it. Gonna be going up, 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 up. With our voices, you only get this so often. Gonna be going. You know we're gonna be golden. We're gonna be going. Wanna be going. Like every now and then. You know that it's so time. No, please, no lies. That's who we're gonna be.
The girl in the middle, she's just like, okay, I survived. I did it.
Like they all look so calm, cool, and collected, and I'm sure she's a pro. I'm sure she's not stressed about it. But all of them, I'm sure that there's always that like when you do well, there's always that little like satisfaction paired with a little bit of relief. Even though like I've been doing harsh vocals for a long time, and it's been about a year. But when we played that festival in Germany, like I was not worried about doing poorly. But when I was done and I did well, I was like, there's always that little bit of like, okay, hell yeah. But yeah, that's kind of crazy for me. I've told you this before, but I love long outros. They're on a show, but I could have listened to like a couple more minutes, maybe. Like
but they cut a section. There's another section before.
Okay, that makes sense then. I know they do that when artists perform on like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and all those people.
Did you notice in her lows she allowed herself to be a little breathy?
Yeah, and one of her low notes was very airy.
Yeah, very airy. Might be because she's not an alto, so it's really out of her range. So the only excess she has in her lows is weak, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. And she also put the song 2.5 steps lower.
Sure. So
it was kind of a compromise, to be able to do the high notes in the more, I guess, secured ways. I heard that she maybe was sick on that performance. Hard to believe.
So yeah,
but
actually,
that's what people said. Yeah,
maybe it could be. She didn't sound sick, but she might just be really good. But I want to ask you about this. So you mentioned that there might be a little bit of spice around the internet about the fact that she sang it lower, and I know. There's a lot of pressure put on singers to never have any difference in their voice. And, again, referencing that festival, there are some sections. Now, nobody cared because everybody knows me as mostly a harsh vocalist. And I didn't care because I don't care. But, there are some sections where I rewrote the melodies because I hadn't performed live in a very long time. And I was like, do I really want to risk a C5? Or do I want to just rewrite the melody a little bit? And, nobody gave me a hard time for it, but I'm also not nearly as big as them, nor will I likely ever be, nor do I want to be. So what are your thoughts? Like, do you care that they dropped it lower? Do you think people are putting too much emphasis on it? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't care. And I think she did the right choice. If ever she was sick a month ago, like, voice is so demanding, like vocal, like you have a new instrument basically every day. You have to deal with, like, you woke up, allergy crisis, so you're gonna have the thing going, how do you say that in English, like post nasal drip on your vocal cords. You ate a little spicy last night. Yeah, you know what, you're gonna wake up with acid reflux. You're gonna have to deal with just burning your vocal cords. And then so like women, we're on our periods. Hormones affect our voice every freaking day. You at least you're just on a regular testosterone basis. So like, but women, it's like really intense. Like, I don't know, maybe she was on her period. Maybe she's like, every day we have a new instrument. Every day. And we have to deal with it. And that's why you need to learn techniques to kind of be able to just survive. That's what I say. And if that day she was too stressed to reach her A5, yes, she for sure did it in the studio. But in the studio, it's not the same. In the studio, it's a lab. It's a lab. You can do one section at a time. You can take breaks. You can go on a walk. And then you come back, you do your belt. You can do the belt on another day that you recorded the verse.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's got to know. And it's just to create a piece. You know, it's a recording thing. It's another thing of a live performance. She is inhaling in sections that she's not inhaling in the studio version.
Sure, of course.
Because she needed to inhale. It's like, you know, and so I really don't care. What I really hate is, of course, lip sync.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like I heard, I'm not going to name the artist, but one of my favorite pop artists, she came to a big festival here in Montreal. And I had friends that were sound engineers. They were doing the sound for her. And I learned that she was lip syncing. Because they wanted her to dance. That when I told you I'm happy she's not dancing, it's because I know she's not lip singing.
Oh yeah, sure.
So they often dance a lot and lip sync, or they're gonna just sing the easy parts and then dance the hard parts and lip sync the hard parts. So like sometimes it's half lip sync, half like this. I hate, absolutely hate. Leave the dancing to the dancers and just sing, girls. It's okay.
Leave the dancing to the dancer.
No, like I love to dance and sing. I've been dancing in the cover bands a lot, but when it was my lead, sometimes I was just like, no, I'm not. I might do the arms that the dancers are doing, but I'm not gonna do the legs. I have to stay like grounded. If I have a big belt, sorry, but I'm not gonna do that part. And they had to adjust, and it was not just me, but sometimes those pop stars, big pop stars, is what I wanted to say, they have to be everything, and it's just not humanly possible to be like that every day.
I think about that sometimes, you know, obviously as somebody observing pop from the outside, sometimes I hear the criticism put on pop stars and I'm like that is just wild. And you know, you don't know, it's like a chicken or the egg situation. Do people have that expectation because pop music, not always, but is often so heavily curated and perfected and sounds so clean and perfect? Or does pop music often sound that way because people demand it? You know, where did the start? But you know, sometimes I feel like, and I don't think that they know, because a lot of people who listen to music are not musicians, right?
Exactly.
And so I don't think that they understand that, like, sometimes they can't have what they want without lip syncing. Like if you want to know what it sounds like for somebody to do like back handsprings while singing, I think it was Christina Aguilera, somebody, like, there's this clip where the singer, she's like, whoa, and she's like doing these like backwards like cartwheels, and it sounds terrible, and it's like, well, that's what you get, you know.
I think there's only Pink who can do that. Like, she's a circus athlete and a singer
flying through the sky. But yeah, you know, that is an interesting, that does happen in the harsh vocal world too, especially in deathcore, because deathcore is probably the most like acrobatic and precise of the metal genres. And you know, there'll be people who they'll be like, man, I'm just so bummed he didn't hit that guttural, he just hit a mid. And I was like, okay, but he was going nonstop for 4 minutes ahead of time. Give the guy some grace.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Let him be a human. But I think that was, I think, you know, from what you're telling me, I think I agree. I am pleased that their focus was on their performance, because it was stellar. It was awesome. It was very,
really
very cool.
good.
It was still fun. It was still fun to watch. They were still interesting, you know, doing the arm movements and like the choreographed back.
Yeah,
and,
they were not like
spotlight.
They were not boring and just like, well. Another thing that I hate is live autotune. So I was happy. I don't think they had that, because I heard a couple of like not perfectly at zero stuff.
I heard some spots where it sounded like maybe there was a little bit of touch going on there.
But I think maybe they corrected it after because it went on YouTube like with Melodyne. So that's a thing, but I think at their level they're really, really close to like
here's the thing. When I hear that, I don't think they're cheating. I think that it's part of, so like, here's an example. Like when I make a scream, right? When I make a scream, right? That's really crispy. Sometimes you will add an effect on there to make it more crunchy, not because you're trying to fake anything, but because that has become part of the aesthetic now.
Yeah.
Like that sort of, sometimes you crush the vocal a little bit. So it has that like slightly overblown sound. Nobody's trying to fake anything. It's just part of the aesthetic. And sometimes I think like when I heard at the beginning, what's to me, right? People might come at me, a little bit of that live auto-tune sound. To me, it sounded like it was there just enough to have the aesthetic of like, we can all blame Cher for this, but like a lot of people now associate a little bit of that like clicking of tone with just the genre. And so to me, when I hear that, I'm not thinking cheating. I'm thinking, oh, that's a vocal effect that is common in the genre and sounds neat.
But it was not like obvious. Like it didn't. Me, it's like when physically it would be impossible, that deranged me. But those girls, I think they could sound. I think they sound like that. It's like I saw a clip. I remember it was like, like a little groupie clip of a cell phone of Justin Bieber backstage, just like singing, like just warming up before going on stage, and he was riffing so precisely, like, but that boy, he grew up in a studio, like hearing himself on auto-tune. So you kind of imitate the auto-tune in your body after a while. So I think they might not even have auto-tune. It's just like that. But I'm not sure. But it was not like obvious. What I hate is like when it's like, what's your tone? I don't even hear your real tone anymore.
Yeah, I can't even hear your voice. You know a good example of what I'm trying to describe? So if you listen to a lot of genres, sometimes you hear a voice that has a lot of reverb on it. Nobody out there is like, you're not really in a cathedral, because
no.
we all understand that it's there to have as part of the aesthetic. For me, and I don't, I am an outside observer of pop. To me, when I hear just light Melodyne, sometimes it is, my brain registers it the same as reverb. I don't think the guy with reverb on his voice is like, I'm going to trick people into thinking I'm in a cave. Ha, ha, ha. I don't think people who just do a little touch of Melodyne here and there are being like, I'm going to fake my singing. I think they're doing that because the way the notes transition has at this point just become kind of a light aesthetic that you can put on a voice. Like you can put delay on a voice. Like you can put.
Yeah, so I get what you mean. I still prefer like for live performance. For a studio, put the Melodyne. It's okay. Like put the a little bit of autotune to get the effect. But in a live performance, I like that it's different from the studio version.
A little bit, yeah. And again, just for anybody who gets mad, I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying it's drenched in there. You can very much hear their natural, normal voices.
Yeah. Because I know the studio version. That's why I'm not even sure they have, because it was pretty different. Yeah.
And I could be totally wrong. It's I've had one pass of the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, in the chorus, they obviously have playbacks that are auto-tuned, like.
For sure.
But for sure. In the verses, not sure.
I think it's very impressive. Yeah. I like it quite well. I don't know if I'm going to be like, converted K-pop fan.
You should listen to the boy band in the movie. They have good songs for males.
You know what I think of when I think of a kids movie with a banging soundtrack? Prince of Egypt. What a soundtrack that movie has. I don't know
that one.
Yo, Prince of Egypt has...
Me, it's Hercules. 0 to Hero.
That's a good one too. Hercules also has a great soundtrack. You should check out Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, okay.
That soundtrack is wild. But that's basically all I got. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. I think this was a great pick. I think there's a lot, I don't know. And there's I was going to say, I don't know if a lot of my listeners will watch this, but there's a lot of crossover. The days of metal people only listening to metal, those have been gone for a while. You know what I mean? I don't know any metalhead really who truly only listens to, maybe majority, but I'll ask you this before we close out. What are some of the main takeaways or main pieces of advice that you would have for someone who's a new singer? They have just started singing, they are absolutely in love with it, but they hear stuff like this and they're a little bit intimidated. What are some things that you would tell them to say, like, okay, not necessarily exercises, although you could do that too, but like some advice for new singers who are like looking at this and they feel like they're looking up at like a skyscraper of impossibility?
Yeah. Because I was looking at that song like a skyscraper. Don't attempt, like, the chorus is not in chest voice. That's why her tone is so different from when she was low. We don't even recognize her. And everybody who's attempting the chorus, everybody sounds the same. It's like a placement that you need to go. It's very like, even me when I do that, I don't even recognize myself. I'm like, I didn't warm up today. But it's like, who that? Like, practicing that song, I kind of unlocked this belt that I probably just clipped. It was super loud.
I'll find out when I edit it up.
Yeah, it's like, oof, Verona, what did you do? But it's like, never I would use that voice elsewhere in my register.
Of course.
It's really a weird placement and you have to address it separately. That's why I'm talking about shifting gears. Like, she has, okay, her lows are breathy. Okay, then she belts in her chest voice, but like not too high. And then, bow, she takes a breather and then poof, she's in that zone. We call it the mix belt zone. And it's just, it should, so I would say that. Just know that you're not going to bring your talking voice up there.
Sure. Yeah.
No.
That is actually very good advice. That's probably one of the best things you could say, because there is so much, there's a lot of crossover with harsh vocals too. People think that they're going to take their like a false chord mid, blow, and they think they're going to get it without, they're just going to take that and do that up there. And it's like, you can use it as a stepping stone, but it ain't gonna work.
Exactly. You need to know how to belt in your chest voice, of course, to build like the stamina and the energy. But then you take this energy and you're going to also go resonate in your head with it, with the energy of the belting. We're gonna resonate in the head voice, but it's not gonna be a head voice either. That's why we call it mixed, because it's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing. Well, I think that's good advice. And I like it. And I think
that's my specialty. If you want to learn, let me know.
Yeah, that's like that's her whole, not your whole gig, but that's a big part of it. Well, cool. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed this. Hopefully everybody enjoyed seeing me being like, what the hell am I supposed to pull from this? I'm just
but do you know, I mean, I saw guys on TikTok saying that all in mixed voice. So I mean, it's really with the good technique. Just remember, also another take that I want people to remember, you can always stretch your highs. You're kind of born with your lows. We can stretch it a little bit. But the highs, I don't care if you're a bass. I have a bass student. I talk about him so often. We share it. I'm not going to name it, but you know who you are if you're watching this.
You know who you are.
And then he's doing the same notes as me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that makes sense too, because you know, as you go low, your vocal folds get fat and short, and eventually if they keep getting fat and short, they're just going to get floppy. Whereas when we go higher, vocal cords, they stretch and they get thin, and you can continue that. I mean, not forever, but you can continue that a lot more than you can continue this. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap us up there because I got a lot of admin.
Yeah, it's all good. So it was nice talking. Next time it's going to be a harsh vocal song that I'm going to be like,
I'll try to pick something that shows a lot of the crossover of what we do. Like, I'll try to find something where it's like, because we talk a lot about how what you do and what I do has a lot of effect, but we often talk about it in songs where the genres are entirely separate from each other. So I'll dig around and I'll find something where the genre is a little bit closer. But with that being said, I got a lot of admin. You got a lot of lessons. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Verona, for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
Many thanks. Much love. We're out.
Ciao.